Hello and welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida, and today I'm going to show you how to make this yummy Zuppa Toscana soup, aka kale, spinach, and sausage soup. You may find this at your local restaurant, especially Italian restaurant such as Olive Garden. But let's get started. First of all, I'm going to start off by dicing half of a yellow or white onion. I had a yellow onion, so I'm going to dice half an onion and just show you how I go about dicing my onions. And it's just some cross cuts that I do, and it's real easy, real simple. So let's start off by dicing this onion till I've used about half of this onion, and that's about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup. So at the beginning, I'm going to do all my dicing, all that prep work. You'll also see me just mince 2 cloves of garlic. About 2 to 3 cloves of garlic will be fine. And then I'm also going to chop my potatoes. And I'm using probably about four yellow. You want like yellow Yukon potatoes for this recipe. So just sit back and watch as I go through my dicing process, my mincing process, and my chopping of the potatoes. And these are all going to enhance the flavor of the soup. All right, looks like that process is over. You see I have my potatoes there, my garlic, and the onion. Next, I'm going to just show you some of the ingredients that I'm using in this dish. Of course, I have some fresh kale, chicken broth. I'm using some heavy cream, Italian sausage, the mild flavor, and a little bit of spicy, some butter, maybe a little bit of water, and some salt and pepper, garlic powder seasoning. So to get started, I first want to measure I'm going to use 6 cups of chicken broth. I've said this in my past videos, when you're making soup or something like that, you want to use a good quality chicken broth. So just make sure you use a good quality chicken broth. It might cost you a little bit more, but it's worth it in the long run. Next, I'm going to start to cook the sausage, and I'm using a half a pound of the mild and then a half a pound of the spicy. And I'm going to ground that, cook it till it's completely done and well. And then it's going to render a nice little oil, a little bit of fat that we're going to use in the soup recipe. Plus, I'm also using some olive oil. I don't think I said that, listed that in my ingredients, but I'm also using some olive oil. And so, anytime you ground or cook meat, sausage, ground beef, turkey, what have you, it takes a few minutes. So we're going to say probably about 7 to 8 minutes. Now, another thing is you don't have to use pork. You definitely can use like turkey sausage. I just recommend that is Italian sausage. Now that my sausage is cooked, I'm going to go ahead and remove that from the pot. This is like a 1-pot meal. I'm using my Dutch oven. And you see how it rendered that fat, that oil? Well, there is flavor in there that's going in the soup. So I'm going to leave that in there as I take out the sausage. Oh, another thing I wanted to highlight is that you don't have to use spicy, or should I say hot Italian sausage. If you don't like that spice or that kick, just continue to use that mild sausage. That is fine. Just a pound of it. Now I went ahead and added in about a tablespoon of olive oil, and we're going to get ready to saute the onion and the garlic. Oops, I'm adding in a tablespoon of butter too. We like that buttery flavor in our soup. So a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Now it's time to add those diced onions. Remember I diced those at the beginning of the video. So that's that prep work. This soup does not take long at all done in less than an hour. Probably the longest part is the dicing and the chopping. Go ahead and saute my onions and garlic for probably just about a minute or so. And it smells so good. Can you imagine, guys? You got that garlic, that oil. It smells Italian in my kitchen. Okay, at this point, I want to go ahead and add in my salt, pepper, and I'm adding in some Italian seasoning. I think that definitely heightens the flavor. So, salt and pepper to taste and Italian seasoning. So, I would say probably about a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, and probably a good teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder would be great also. Here I'm adding in that 4 cups. I'm starting with 4 cups of the chicken broth, but I'm going to use a total of 6 cups of chicken broth. I will say the recipe I used did add an additional 2 cups of water, but I'm going to recommend that we don't need that 2 cups of water. I felt it made it a little bit too loose, so I'm just going with the 6 cups of chicken broth in the future. And you'll see a lot of stirring. I'm going to give this a stir. Start to bring it up to a boil. That'll take a couple of minutes, so I'm just stirring everything. Let me go over what's in the pot right now. We have some oil, olive oil. We have butter. The sausage has been rendered, so we have the oil from that. Salt and pepper, onions, garlic, and now I'm adding in my potatoes. If I had to measure, I would say I'm using about 2 to 3 cups of potatoes, of cut potatoes. Now this should come up to a boil. And then I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for just about 5 minutes. One thing about this soup, it is very time sensitive because if you cook the potatoes, if you overcook the potatoes, they will be mushy. So you don't want mushy, you want firm potatoes. Definitely not mushy. We're not making mashed potatoes, so it's very time sensitive. Let my potatoes cook about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to add in about 4 cups of chopped kale, fresh chopped kale, and I'm going to let those cook together for about another 10 minutes until those potatoes are just firm, not to overcook. Giving that a good stir. And guess what's going in and give it that robust flavor? That's that Italian sausage. These are the main ingredients. Sausage, kale, potatoes, also known as zuppa toscana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Zuppa Toscana soup. All right, we'll cook these together for about 10 minutes, like I said. Then I'm going to add in another little bonus ingredient. My soup's coming together, y'all. All right, in the final stage of adding in the last ingredients, and that is 2 cups of heavy cream. Because how can you get that creamy consistency if you don't have the cream? So 2 cups of heavy cream is going into the pot, and I'm adding in a 1/2 cup of grated parmesan. Chef's kiss. So I'm gonna give this all a stir. Turn my heat down. Just let this go probably for another 3 minutes. The soup is done. At this point, you can taste it. See if you want to add in any more salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, or any other ingredients you like to add. But pretty much, my Zuppa Toscana soup is complete and ready to be eaten. This is a delicious, very hearty and delicious soup. You can eat this any time of the year. You can have soup and salad for dinner. You can have it for lunch. Make it for your family and friends. I think they'll definitely enjoy it. If you make it, please let me know how it turns out. And like I said, when I made this, I used the extra 2 cups of water. In the future, I don't think it needs that water in addition to the chicken broth, in addition to the heavy cream. So besides that, it was delicious. It was enjoyed. I enjoyed it. And I will make it again plenty of times. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until the next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. Go ahead and try to make this Zuppa Toscana soup and let me know how it turns out. See you in the next video.